So let's move into our final topic of the day. And before we do that, I want to give a quick shout out to our patrons and to our Twitch chat who've been keeping us company. We go live every Saturday for the Fast Break and for super fans during the regular parts of the week, the weekdays as most people would call that, not the regular parts. We do a couple episodes. Ricky does What's Your Fantasy with Brandon Swanson. Then on Sunday, there is Rick and Johnny taking over the nerding news of the world. But again, thanks for being a patron. Thanks for helping us out. Thanks for supporting us.
And the one thing I forgot to say during the Bulls topic, Dave, Sam reminded me.
Yes.
If the Bulls do something stupid, I might have to commit a felony.
And you know exactly what he's talking about if you're part of our patron group.
Yeah. And the watch-alongs.
We do watch-alongs on the weekly, where we go into Discord.
We call them watch-alongs, but they've just turned into us hanging out talking.
Yeah, I mean, there's a basketball game on in the background, and 8 seconds of watching that, and then we just talk about random stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's a great time, and if you wanted to get in on that, check us out at patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcasts. Mm-hmm. Anyway. Boys, baseball season is starting. We are in spring training. It's delightful. I love it. But that also means...
Do you love it, though, Dave?
I absolutely love it. But that also means that we're kind of shifting gears. And something that people are already kind of holding over the White Sox, all the hope and all the fun that's going to come this season, is the contract situation with Yoan Moncada. And I, for one, honestly don't know that I see it as a problem because the comments I've seen publicly from him is that, look, he's just going to play and take care of business. But Sean?
Well, no, I want to... Yeah, a little misinformed. James Fox of Future Sox, it's kind of very similar to the Luis Robert and Eloy Jimenez thing, but just a little bit later. No, it's they're trying to extend them so they don't have to deal with arbitration and they don't have to deal with free agency. They're talking about a 6-year deal that would buy out 2 years of his free agency.
Oh, okay.
So they're just trying to make sure that we'll pay him now, make sure he's happy, and then that way we can we don't have to worry about contract stuff. We'll make him happy. We'll make sure he gets money right away, and maybe we'll also won't have to pay him if he keeps continuing at this rate to pay go into free agency and try to outbid people.
Yeah.
Especially in his first 2 years. This is about locking up the core.
Yep.
So I think it's not really a pressing issue. Like he might not be on this team.
No. But people were trying to hang it out as that's this gloom and doom cloud over the Sox season right now, and I'm like, it's not even an issue.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard that. Okay. So that's something that.
Well, I think it's people looking for something negative to throw back at the White Sox.
Possibly.
Might be.
The extension news at least has me excited.
Okay.
I think it's something that makes sense for this team. This is the way they like to operate. They like to get guys, especially ones that have performed, locked down and get them paid. It's stuff that we've seen with Chris Sale, Jose Quintana, obviously guys to even buy out their service time, like Luis Robert and Eloy Jimenez. So this is something that is just typical White Sox fashion, and it's something that apparently the Cleveland Indians used to do this back in the day in the 90s as well. It's a smart way for a small market team, which Jerry Reinsdorf wants you to believe.
That's how we run it.
They spent $282 million in free agency this year, the third most in MLB. Still have the 18th lowest overall salary cap. Yeah. But Moncada getting the 6-year extension. It depends on where the money is, but the talk is happening, which is exciting.
Yeah.
If you're able to lock him down, I think the biggest thing is just a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
And then this way, all you can focus on is adding.
Yeah.
Who are we going to add? Because you have Robert locked down. You have Jimenez locked down. You have Moncada locked down. You have I'm trying to think. Kopech's locked down pretty much. You have him for forever. At least you have him till arbitration stuff. See, same way. This core is young, and you're just keeping the core around. Grondel's locked up for 4 years as well. So I think that's the biggest thing about this is just making sure that these guys get locked down and they don't have to focus on anything but playing baseball. And it's something that is massively exciting. Sam's asking the question, and this is the one that we really don't know, is how much reasonable for his early extension, though. So what would he truly be making? Is 6 years, $200 million too much?
For what we've seen so far?
Is 6 year, 125 too little? And where is the balance that he wants where this organization wants? This organization is going to want to pay him the least amount possible. Like any organization, he wants to max out his money.
And that's
especially
why,
having 2 years of free agency being in this picture.
And that's why the question that we're posing and that you see if you're coming in on YouTube is, how important is this? It's of the most importance to me, because if I'm a White Sox front office, it's like, cool, we've got Eloy locked down, after this year he's making 2.3. That jumps to only 4.3 next year. You got Luis not locked down. $1.5 million jumps to 3.5 next year. Like, these are pennies compared to what we're getting in other teams and what we're seeing other teams paying their young prospects. But if I'm Yoan Moncada, I'm looking at it this way, and I'm going, hey, you know what? I'm just going to go play baseball this year, and I'm going to ball out. Because the White Sox, if you let Moncada play this year and ball out, he ain't going to be asking for just $2.3 million. He's going to be asking for a lot more. And if you're talking, I'm going to bring Sam in from Twitch chat. If Sam's prediction comes true and the White Sox win the AL Central, I'm assuming Yoan Moncada is going to have a really fucking good year. And if that's the case, you're not going to get him for as low as the White Sox want to get him. You're going to have to then pay him, and that's where things could be dicey.
5-year, $200 million still paid. It's just
it's 5 years, $200 million is ridiculously high.
That was the number you tossed out.
No, 6 years.
6 years.
And that was something that, again, I'm just trying to say, like, I don't know where any of this stuff could be. So it could be anywhere from 125 to 200. Yeah. The thing, typically we've seen, like, I'll take in Chris Bryant, right? Other third baseman in town. He's currently going through arbitration. I think he negotiated to $18 million, right? So and Chris Bryant, obviously the whole talk is what is he going to do when he becomes a free agent in 2 years? If we do 18 and 6, let's just do that right here.
18 times 6.
That's $108 million. So I wonder if Moncada, getting him for $100 million seems like a steal, and that's the thing that I think. And Robert just got 88 guaranteed.
Yeah,
for not even playing a game.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing. We've seen Yoan Moncada be excellent already, and that's probably gonna up the price. And like Ricky, you were saying, like if they are a top team in the AL Central and he does excel again next year, which honestly, after what he did last year, I'm like, shit, where's the ceiling for this guy? Yeah, a lot of money's going to go his way. So do you think it's a thing where the Sox want to do this sooner rather than later, and they just feel obligated that, like, hey, maybe we can get a decent bargain on a long-term deal up front? Sean, thinking well, you're just still trying to find a range.
That's the thing is, because free agency is going to change all of this. Yeah. So you have to also take in effect of 2 years of free agency. So the arbitration one, I think, is a little bit easier. You can base it at, all right, well, we probably pay the first year of arbitration around 10 to 12 million for him. Chris Bryant coming off an MVP season, I think he made and a World Series ring in 2018. I think that was the first year he actually hit arbitration, was 10.8. Yeah. Right, and that was 2 years ago. So you probably push that up to 13 mil. Right, so first year of arbitration for Moncada, even without an MVP, if he has a better season than what he did last year, I would say around 13 mil. Yeah. Then if he continues to do that and has a better season after that, then you're pushing it up to, and you're talking about MVPs, then you're pushing that up to, 16 mil, right? And then if he wins an MVP and he's on year 3 of arbitration, then you get up to 20 million, right? What is Yoan Moncada then worth when he hits free agency as an MVP player? If this all happens and this works out, then you're going to be on the open market with a kid who's going to be 28 years old, 29 years old, in the prime of his career. Then you're talking 7 years, $245 million, like Anthony Rendon just got, and Rendon didn't even have an MVP on his belt. Yeah. So that's the game you're trying to play. Is if you're Moncada's agent, you don't want to screw him and be like, oh well, we'll take $18 million for 6 years, and we'll ride that out, $108 million. No, you're trying to make sure your client gets paid and doesn't miss out on 2 years of free agency pay when it's going to be competitive betting. And when he does then get 2 years out of this in 6 years, I think he's going to be 31 years of age. That's going to affect your free agency market. So you're trying to make sure he gets paid. Yep. So I could see, and he's 25 right now, so 6 years, he'll be 31. That's where the issue comes in, are those last 2 years. So I would say that Moncada,
he's gonna be 29 when he's
but so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you'd be 30, and he'd be going 31 into free agency. Okay, thank you very much.
I was confused because I'm like I was confused only because it was like, oh, he hits free agency when he's 29. But I didn't realize
But
you
6
were
years.
doing.
But we're talking
Yeah, I
6
didn't
years.
realize you were doing 2 years of open
that's
market
the thing. They're
bidding.
trying to buy out two
Yeah.
of his free agent years. So I could see that 200 wouldn't be unreasonable to ask for an agent because you're buying out 2 years of free agency. So it's a tricky game for the White Sox to play because you obviously don't want to overpay because what if he returns to leading the league in strikeouts and he just becomes a switch hitting Eugenio Suarez, where Eugenio Suarez is a fantastic player for the Reds, don't get me wrong, but he's also not worth $200 million.
No.
So I would love to see a deal get done between them. I would be happy in the range of 6/130 to 6/145.
Okay.
Because that way I think he is a little bit overpaid, and I think you have to overpay for the 2 final years.
Yep.
But still, you get him locked up.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to take
That's
the
like best
shot
case scenario,
and trust that Rick Hahn will be able to, and I trust that Yoan Moncada will also put the work into becoming the best player that he possibly can be. I think he showed up to camp early too, which I love to see. And they like rewarding guys with contract extension. It's again, this kid could be an MVP.
Yeah.
And you have to take that into effect. And this is going to be the hardest extension I think they try to work out.
Well, and it's Sam brings up in Twitch chat. He says the other thing is I'm thinking Eloy and Luis, etc., took less money in the early extensions because they believed in our potential of this current rebuild.
I disagree. The reason they took less money is because they didn't play a single game.
Yeah. Okay.
They didn't play a single game, and there's no guarantee that they're even going to be they're even going to be good. And then also the fact that they didn't buy any of their free agency years out.
Yeah,
that was
right.
all arbitration.
True, good
So
point.
arbitration is going to limit your cap even if you're going to be an MVP. So
Doesn't matter,
Robert
yeah.
getting $88 million guaranteed. That if he gets injured, he's still getting $88 million.
Yeah.
If Eloy
he was
gets
playing with
injured,
house
he's still
money.
getting guaranteed. Yeah. So really, there's no reason for them not to take it because this way they don't have to screw around. They can just start playing right away. They don't have to worry about contract situations. They're getting more money than they probably ever thought they would have gotten. And right now, they haven't played a game and they got their money. So that's the thing and the reason why this is completely different. It's not about believing in a rebuild. People,
benefit,
there's,
but, you know.
there's no reason. The biggest reason they're taking the money is because they're getting money.
Yeah.
Right? It's what ball players want.
Well,
You're
I
getting
mean,
paid.
the thing
That's the
that's-
biggest thing about this.
The thing that's tricky about baseball is there's no salary cap. So there's not like you can only spend this much
hard and
because you
fast
hit the
rule.
cap. Like,
Yep.
no, there's a luxury tax. If you pay too much, then you got to pay a tax for it. But I mean, with that being said, like I was going to take that and say, well, we've seen in other sports, like a Tom Brady, where it's like, I'm going to take not less money. I'm going to take signing bonus money to free up cap room so we can go out and get other guys. Is Moncada going to be a guy where, like, what Sean said, I think is true, of like, go get your money. If you're worth the money, ask for the money and don't take anything than what you're less than. And I think that's the mindset that Yoan Moncada is going to have of like, how do I get the most money that I can get? And the White Sox, like Sean said, are going to be between a rock and a hard spot because they're going to obviously try, because how negotiations work.
Yep.
You want to get the price favorable to you. And I don't think a deal gets worked out. No extension gets worked out this year in my mind. They play the year out.
I disagree with that.
Okay.
I think if talks are already happening and James Fox had the Robert extension first, I think that
He's lining up all his ducks in a row right now. He's just kind of going through the list.
I think by opening day we will have an extension.
Okay.
I think we get him. It's just
How much more are we going to pay?
well, how much are you just going to get? How much is the extension going to be? I think we're all left in the dark on where he actually.
It's hard
is.
to put a number out. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
So
I've been flipping through like different people who have done similar situations. And because of the time difference in years and production, like there's not really a great answer to say, oh, it's going to be, like you said, is it going to be 14 million year 2, 3, or are we talking, as high as 20 million, at the end? So it's very tough to answer that question.
Yeah, at least like it could be a Bregman deal. Bregman last time he locked in for 100 million guaranteed.
Yep.
But then again, like he falls short of Bregman's time, but also Bregman, that's pretty much a lockdown. And I don't think they also bought out any of his years of free agency. So if they got him for $100 million, I'd be happy. I mean, I know he isn't. He's an MVP type player, or yet at least. But I maybe I'm talking out of my ass, but
Eh,
they don't have big contracts yet.
No.
Why not lock him up long term? Even if you do have to gamble on the chance that you're going to overpay.
There's a very high
you
possibility that
like,
he's your
they're-
best player.
together.
There's
Like,
a
they're-
very high possibility that he's your best player.
Yeah.
Big contracts are Grandal and Abreu. And Dallas Keuchel.
and
Those are your big contracts.
And the thing too is, and I was looking more like the biggest ever extension for a player like this was Trout's 144.
Yeah.
But also then we saw Trout get $400 million. And I don't think that original extension bought out any UFA time. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I would say 6, 130, and 145. I was right on. I think that's what we'll see.
Okay.
I hope I'm right. But this is going to be a bad segment.
Yeah. I mean, this could just get linked back to us in like 2 years, and the guy's just absolutely killing it, and you're
Yeah.
like, well, who knows?
Don't you love those segments where people listen in 2 years later and they're like, they say
I mean, in
something
2
and
years-
it's like, yeah, I
In
was
2 years,
wrong.
when we're joking about this after the White Sox won a World Series, like it's all money at that point.
Get past the
I don't
Twins
care.
First.
Yeah, I know.
People are going
I
to think
know.
I'm a Twins fan too now because I've got the
Minnesota Vikings
I'm
hoodie
not
on.
a Twins fan. I want to make that clear.
Yep.
Oh, Bregman's was 5,100.
Okay.
So
So 5,
there's an extra year on there for 6.
6, 120. 6, 120. Yeah, we feel like 6, 120 would be solid. Or we feel like that's low.
I think 6, 130.
6, 130. 6, 130. Do I have a 6, 135?
Sounds good to me. Numbers to me, it's like you're just throwing them, and I'm
Okay.
like Alan in the Hangover right now. They're just all going in front of my face. Where it's like,
Yikes.
I just think you gotta get the deal done now because if he plays actual games
This season,
he's gonna want more.
I think the deal does get done. I'm with Sean. I think that this has all been strategically set up to lock up the entirety of the core moving forward and make sure that everything is set. All we have to do is continue to add to this team, and we're not worried about, okay, we've got this window, but in 2 years, we're going to have to move on from this guy because we're not going to want to pay him, $400 million if he gets to Mike Trout levels of stupid. It feels like it's just smart planning, and I know we're being cheap, but that's okay with me. Because if the deal's signed and it ends up as a small overpay, I'm okay with that. We're already doing this with some people right now. It's not going to kill you in the long run, I don't see this White Sox team with the amount of youth and talent that they have collected capping out at the top because, we just didn't spend an extra $15 million or $10 million, That doesn't feel like that's where this team's going to run into a problem.
Yeah.
So I think that'll do it for Superfans this week. Thank you guys so much for watching, so much for listening. If you were in Twitch chat this whole time, Sam, shout out to you, keeping us company, making sure that we kept on track with the White Sox discussion. Appreciate your...
Also,
I was also
tough
wrong.
guy Colby.
Jimenez got $43 million guaranteed, and Robert $50 million. But I think with his options, it can get up to 88.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, do we see a situation? Nah, I'm on this. I was like, do we see a situation where they toss in, if he does get MVP, voting or consideration, like, how much of a bump could that give him? But contracts in baseball are, dude, they're dirty.
So
Like, you have to be like 6 lawyers through to check that thing over because, like, I swear there's so many hangups.
There's
It's like plate appearances plus this plus this plus. I'm surprised they're not doing like what's the most advanced like metrics that we're using now? Is it
What?
like ridiculous
WAR.
baseball metrics like
WAR's different.
doubles hit on Tuesdays that are raining.
No, I mean that's not. It's
I'm
all
joking.
about launch angle and velocity,
that's funny.
hit speed.
Yeah, if his hit speed falls below whatever, then like clearly he's not gonna get top bonus.
He's a guy that has a 400 BABIP, and that's typically shown at balls hit and play. And that's
what?
it's
A BABIP.
a BABIP.
sure.
Batting
What's so
average
hard
on
about that?
balls hit and on balls in play.
Okay.
And typically, if that is higher, it shows it's typically sometimes defined as like a luck stat, like you're lucky you're hitting it where guys aren't. But also with Moncada drills the shit out of balls, so a high BABIP isn't necessarily bad because he's hitting it so fast that guys don't have the time to get to balls or react to balls, or he's hitting it so fast that he's hitting it into gaps and like up the middle and to places where guys can't reach it. So there is a little bit of a luck factor in there, but the thing with Moncada is he's a switch hitter. The issue with him is if he increases his walks, he could be a top 10 hitter. If he increases his walk, he becomes more patient at the plate. With his swing and the power that he puts behind balls, he could be a guy that hits 30 homers, steals 30 bags, and is a guy with a high BABIP just because of how much he drills the shit out of balls. So I'm scared to see his ceiling because I hope he reaches it. But his also ceiling could be a true top 15 player in this game. And that's why I think I might be overvaluing because he's on the White Sox and saying he can get 130 mil when the highest is 144. You shouldn't listen to me because I'm not a GM and I'm 22 years old and I don't know money. But in the long run, I think an extension would be worthwhile because I think that if he ever hits his potential, he will be the best player in the White Sox and they can win a World Series title if he is their best player.
Before you close the podcast, you want to hear something funny? Bulls playing the Knicks as we're recording.
Yeah.
Not only are we losing 66-53, guess who's leading all scorers with 17? RJ Barrett.
How is that funny?
Because RJ Barrett hasn't been playing well.
I mean,
he's 7 of 8 from the field right now, 3 of 3 from 3.
I mean, that is.
He's got 17 points.
That efficiency is funny for RJ Barrett because he's a booty shooter.
Plus 22 on the floor right now.
Good for him.
Like, the Bulls are hitting a new low.
That's where we're trying to aim at. It's all draft time, baby. Let's get that top 5 pick.
Taj's got 11 today. Wow.
Top 5 pick, baby. Thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. If you want more White Sox talk, Bulls, Bears, I'm not doing Blackhawks, but these guys can do Blackhawks.
We did do Blackhawks.
You could talk about how the Blackhawks just gave away, more players because we
got some trade deadline hits on the YouTube page when we talked about Brent Seabrook.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because people were looking for Blackhawk trade deadline stuff.
Yeah, so maybe I should do that.
The trades were smart because Lehner and Gustafsson were about to leave.
Yeah.
The Hull were iffy, but again, you're selling with 1 year left. So
right.
If you're a Blackhawks fan, you should have been complaining a long time ago, or you probably already were complaining a long time ago because these deals were seen and they should be performing better. It's a rough spot. Stan Bowman shouldn't be fired, though, because he does a decent job. I think that Colliton sucks, though.
There you go. Thank you for your thoughts on the Blackhawks.
Quick Blackhawks hit.
I don't know dick about them.
Go to @JZawoski670. He's smarter.
Shout out. Thanks. We'll catch you guys next week.
Bears.
Bye-bye.
Wait,
Go
I'm going to
Bears.
throw up the Twitch thanks.
Yeah, Twitch thanks.
Oh, that's the Wet Boys.
That's Kobe White.
Thank you, Alexis, Bilal, Batalio, Braden, Charlie, Edwin, Eric, Sean, Hubertus, Jake, John, Patrick, Soapy, Tim, and of course Sam, who was in here. Shout out to Sam.
And Dave.
You're not a patron.
Yeah, but I'm a sub on Twitch. You get my money.
All right. Well, no, he's getting your money.
True.
You're giving him money.
True.
You don't see your money.
True.
So
that's
you're
how it
just giving
works.
Ricky money to take his girlfriend out.
Ah, true.
So go Bears.
Go Bears.
Bye.